We're here at the head of the Charles Regatta in Boston, and we're catching up with Dan Williamson, gold medalist in the New Zealand 8 from the 2020 Tokyo Olympics. He's going to talk to us about coaching, his new coaching role at Yale. He's 1 year in. Let's see what he's got to say. Dan, you're here as a coach of the Yale Bulldogs. Do you want to tell us a little bit about what last season looked like for you coaching at Yale, your first season?
Yeah, last season was my first season with the Yale Bulldogs and also my first season as a coach. So yeah, a lot of change coming from being an athlete myself. I retired in 2024. So yeah, it was a fun year getting back to my alma mater. I thoroughly enjoyed my time at Yale. I think most people have very fond memories of their college lives and careers, and I don't think in a million years I thought I would be back so soon or at all. So to be back and a part of the team again was really special, and yeah, just a big learning process as well, going from athlete to coach.
Yeah, so that transition from athlete to coach in your first season, what are some of your biggest learnings you've had?
Yeah, I think it comes back to of just like kind of the feedback you get in each of those roles. As an athlete, you're in the boat. You can feel it, and so it's really easy to kind of understand what's going on and make comments to the rest of the crew. My first day on the job at Yale, I was sitting outside the boat and I put the megaphone up and I realized that I've never really watched my own crew's row, and now the only feedback you have is visual. So that was a big change, and it's just been a lot about trying to understand kind of the feelings I had as an oarsman. What does that look like? The other big part of it is, it's a communication game. How do you communicate, all of these thoughts and feelings and ideas and technical changes? I think words are a terrible way to communicate. I think, the old saying, a picture paints 1,000 words. And so often it's how can I kind of paint this picture with words to avoid using words. It's a full circle kind of thing, but yeah.
And so that whole change in communication style and how you're feeling in the boat and having to see it visually now, have you got someone on your journey that's sort of helping you from a mentoring perspective with your coaching?
Yeah, I mean, I've had plenty of great coaches over the years, and they've all brought something different. I kind of learned different pieces of the puzzle from each of them. Rachel Cummins, my novice coach, who essentially taught me to love the sport, to Nick Lloyd, who was a real stickler for standards, and man, was he just so technical on us and trained us really hard, to Tony O'Connor with the Olympic team, how to take all that to a elite level, to an Olympic level, having done it himself, and Steve Gladstone at Yale, who was a real kind of culture guy. I mean, that guy could coach really hard, really hard, but that was more learning about how to bring a team together. And so I feel I've checked many boxes from my mentors over the years, and you're right, it's about how can I bring all of that together now and round out my approach to coaching.
Now, you're quite young. We were talking earlier that you really are sort of, you were the baby of the crew that won in Tokyo, won that gold medal.
Yeah.
How when you reflect back on that time and the crew that you had with you and the experience I guess you had with people like Hamish in the boat, do you reflect on that now that you're in a coaching role and what it must have been like to coach that crew, or do you bring that energy that you had then, and you told me you had that energy, do you bring it into this role that you've got now?
Yeah, I think it's easier to bring energy now because I'm not the one exhausted from 25 hours of training a week, but rowing with Hamish in itself was he's, as I imagine for many people, was like one of my rowing idols, posters on the wall, and he was many years older than me, or maybe I was many years younger than him, is the more polite way to say it. So never in a million years did I think I would get to, learn off him, and that whole experience was incredible. And, I think the biggest thing you learn from someone like that is the standards they hold themselves to, the standards they hold the team to every day. It's just relentless. It's absolutely relentless. And I think spending time with Hamish, it became very clear why he was as good as he was. It just all made a lot of sense.
It was an amazing campaign, it really was. Now, so I think it's been over 50 years since the Yale Bulldogs have taken line honours at the head of the Charles.
Really?
I'm not sure, maybe my facts aren't right. So how are the Bulldogs shaping up for this regatta?
It's an interesting regatta, first of all. Head race, 5.2 kilometres long, bridges, turns, people in front of you, people coming from behind you, or hopefully not. So it's a fun one, but it's very different. I think we've taken out the Collegiate 8 title once or twice recently. I think our Collegiate 8 in 2019 managed to get a dub, but not in the Champ 8, and those two events are kind of meshed together. But it's always an interesting one as coaches to kind of how do you reflect on a race at the Charles? And it's very hard to reflect on the result because there are too many examples of crew wins the Charles, crew wins the IRA, or crew wins the Charles, crew loses the IRA, or crew does bad at the Charles and wins the IRA, or bad at the Charles and bad at the IRA. So there's very little correlation in the results. So what we're really looking for is just to execute what we've been working on for the first 6 weeks of the season, to go and have a piece where the guys have laid it all out, given their best, and that's the only way and the best way to make evaluations and to move forward. So yeah, it's
nice.
it's looking good. It's looking good. We've got a really exciting team this year. A lot of youthful energy coming in from the freshmen. Just looking to build off what was a pretty tough season for us last year. We weren't happy with the results by any means, but we acknowledge them and we accept them. And it's how do we move forward from that? So the guys are fired up, we're fired up, and we'll see what we can do.
Nice. And tell me, there's another race on Sunday when are you rowing your...
Saturday.
It's Saturday. So tell me a bit more about that race.
Yeah, on Saturday, tomorrow, I'll be racing in the Alumni 8 event for Yale. So Old Dog Boat Club will be hitting the track at about 11 a.m. tomorrow. And that's just a collection of kind of alumni from recent years. There are 4 other alumni boats racing in some of the age category events. But the younger dogs will be...
How are you feeling about it?
Oh, the rowing will be just fine, but the fitness is definitely lacking.
Yeah.
So, but more than anything, that's about going out there and having fun, rowing with some people who you're close with and had a good time with at college. Kind of reignites a lot of old memories. So it's just a bit of fun.
Yeah, it really is.